Hello! I am back again, adapting and making new personalities and voices every time I come on this channel, so that you never get consistency. Today I am doing a speed paint of my friend's characters from a game called D&D. Now, D&D has been getting a lot more popular, so I feel like most of you, or some of you, know what it is, but if you don't know what it is, it's a tabletop roleplay RPG game where you roll dice and you have fun in fantasy worlds. It doesn't just have to be fantasy, but that's the most common, and make fun characters and scenarios. Just a quick thing before I get started on the characters and everyone's descriptions. I have a new setup. As you can see, I now have a screen where you can see the whole progress and also where I'm working specifically. And also I have a new overlay. Sorry, anyway. So now it's no longer the goblin character sketching, but it's this overlay so that I can put up pictures and references if I'm ever talking about a reference instead of awkwardly placing it somewhere on the screen. And along with this references, I swear I'm not tracing these poses directly, I'm using them as a base. So with this character that I was just drawing, I raised his arm, I adjusted the anatomy a little bit, and tweaked it to my style, along with the girl and the guy on the other sides, and at the bottom, I tweaked their anatomy to either fit the opposite gender or a younger age, so I swear I'm not directly tracing these, although the comparison is large, unfortunately. But I had to do this to cut down the most amount of time as I could, so that this wouldn't take forever, which it kind of ended up taking forever, but that's because of the color and I wanted it fully finished and effects and so many characters and color palettes. This took 13 hours and 27 minutes in total over the course of 3 days. But yeah, with that aside, let's get to talking about the characters. Starting off with Scarecrow's character, Stick. He is a blue tiefling druid, so he does a lot more plant-based magic, and he is the stoner of the group. He uses Zaza to stun his opponents for a couple of rounds, and he also calls them animals and does healing powers. And I have a couple of things in store for him later in the future that I'll reveal in a future video. He is a part of a family mafia that he's not aware of, but he's slowly starting to find out. His backstory is mixed with, in 3 words, like mafia, Tarzan, running. If that made sense. He is the comedy relief of the group. He's very wild card, like you don't know exactly what he's gonna do, but you can have a basic premise idea of like what he might do. He is in this to help people and, you know, have a good time, and also to kiss every god's hand or cheek or something, and so far I think he has kissed or has been kissed by like 4 people. I don't think the group could keep going on this quest without him. I think he really adds a smile to everyone's face and keeps the spirits up and light. His personality is very contrasting from everyone else's designs and also personality. Everyone else is a lot more monotoned and strict, where he is the free bird of everyone. Moving on to the youngest member of the party, but oldest member of the group. Her name is Delphia. She is 14 and she is a cleric. Spoilers ahead for any of my friends watching this. Viewer discretion advised. She is a changeling, so she can shapeshift into different forms, and she does fire magic, lightning magic, and I believe she's doing some more like necromancy magic now, but that occurred after this video. Delphia is a young girl trying to seem older, at least that's how I depict her. She's younger and she's trying to seem older, and she's trying to seem like the world doesn't affect her as much and that she's not bothered and she can take things on alone. She doesn't need people on her side. But really, she actively sabotages herself to help others. So she'll go out of her way to specifically help someone, even if she's holding a grudge against them and is having a dispute with someone. She'll go against her own and help them no matter the cost. Of course, some things go above this, like family or some certain friends or specific members might hold more of a place in her heart than others, and that would be expected. But Delthea, I think, I like her personality the most. I like her character type. She's very much so trying to be a loner but can't live alone, wants to protect people but doesn't want to show that she wants to. I love her. She's very much a a rebellious type, and I like her character dynamic with her brother, which is my character, Calcifer, which I will be talking about next. Delthea's exterior, albeit cold and mischievous and sometimes flirtatious, she made it this way to seem more menacing, to make up for the fact that she is only 14 and she is a young girl, but she did have to do a lot of things on her own, so she made this in a way to protect herself, this cold, threatening exterior, but on the inside she really just wants to be understood and talk to people and have connections with people who care about her and not are actually afraid of her or trying to manipulate or take advantage of her. And I love this about her. Before I get started on talking about Calcifer, look at this beautiful hidden little thing I hid in his notebook. That's 100% what you think it is. Now let's progress. Delthea's brother, my character, Calcifer, is inspired by the character Calcifer from the movie Howl's Moving Castle. I loved that name, and I still love that name a lot, and I always wanted to make a character who had fire magic, and Calcifer is surprisingly my first character who can. Now, Calcifer has some resemblances and features kind of like the character from Howl's Moving Castle, only being his name, fire magic, and coldness to people he doesn't know, but then gradually warming up. Fire pun intended. I apologize. But Calcifer is Delthea's older brother. He is 19 years old, almost 20, and he is in love with the character I am drawing on the screen right now. I will talk more about that later. Calcifer has a older brother. Yet again, more spoilers for any of my players watching this. Calcifer has a older brother, but that brother does not share the same father as he and Delthea do, but nonetheless, he loved that brother even though that brother was quite neglectful and honestly manipulative, and the scars all over Calcifer's body are because of his brother. Not intentionally, but him and his brother got into a lot of crimes. Calcifer used his fire magic on a building, and the unstable architectural structure of it collapsed on him, and his brother decided to run away instead of helping him in fear of getting caught by the cops or knights or guards or whatever near them. So Calcifer's fire wounds became permanent on his skin. Much like Delthea, Calcifer crafted personality traits to use in front of people, being cold and a little bit hurtful or violent at times with his words, if he doesn't know them or takes offense to things, not knowing and probably being a little on edge about everything a person says, taking things a little bit too negatively, even if it was a compliment, until he warms up to you. Now, he was a lot worse at this before he met the party. He's a lot nicer and kinder now when he meets people, but when he met the party, he was threatening to do some not very kind things to them. If you catch my drift in any way, very, very violent things. But Calcifer, on the not negative or violent side, he's very kind, shy, and warm-hearted, and very, very soft, very twink. On to the next character. Moving on to the two rabbits of the group, Trevor and Jing. Trevor is played by Boot. You've seen them pop up on my channel a couple times, either with collaborations or me just talking about them in other videos. Their character is Calcifer's love interest, and things have been going smoothly up until a recent, in quotes, amnesia event. It wasn't really amnesia, and it was a person disguising himself as Calcifer, so the party right now has no clue of where Calcifer is, but more on that on another video maybe. Trevor is a angsty boy. He is very much so the emo. He has multiple piercings, he's very cold, he has a Russian accent as well. He is one of the oldest in the group. I believe he's like 23, 24. I think Jing is 30. Trevor came from a big family, as rabbits do, and it wasn't the best family, specifically because of his parents. The town that they lived in weren't great either, but he's having, there's gonna be some story stuff I'm gonna put in soon, so look out for that. Not too much to say about Trevor. He is very much so the Doberman of the group. He is the big scary guy that everyone is very intimidated about, and he's a rogue, so he's a thief and he steals stuff a lot, and he is very, very fast and sneaky, and he has 2 sickles he uses, and they're like his babies. He like treats them and like shines them, and it's the best things, and he recently got upgrades on them, so he'll use them more than the magic weapons I gave him. Nothing against that. It is definitely very character growth wise, and I like that. I feel like a lot of people already know a lot of stuff about Trevor, although I've never posted about my D&D campaign on here. But if you want to know more about Trevor, here is my friends' socials. They post about Trevor a bit. Recently they've been posting a lot more about Cult of the Lamb, but hey, if you like Cult of the Lamb, they post a lot of fan art and videos and animations about that. On their TikTok, they used to post a lot more about Trevor, so if you want to go look at that, I recommend it. Talking about Jing now, the other rabbit, he is played by my friend, Draco, and I'm saying that because his Discord name changes sometimes, but that's his name on other profiles. But Draco has this rabbit character, and Jing didn't always look like this skeletal person. Jing was originally just looked like a real rabbit, but his character died, and then we went to the death world, or the underworld in my campaign, and we found him there. And he turned into a skeleton, and his ribcage was filled with flowers because the cause of his death was a lightning charge to the heart. So flowers sprout wherever wounds or the cause of your death is in my campaign, so he had flowers in his ribcage. Jing was originally like the sassy uncle kind of mom. Ignore my siblings in the background. Jing was originally the sassy mom of the group kind of thing, and he is protective but also like, yeah, go beat him up, I'm so proud of you, go do that kind of person. He was a lot more reserved and a lot more quiet in the group than he is now. Now he is boosted his confidence quite a bit, and he is a lot more social, and I feel like he's promoted himself to sassy grandma instead of aunt. Not too much to say about him. He is the oldest of the group. I feel like his personality is like wise uncle, or not wise uncle, but like wise sensei, teacher kind of thing of the group, evolving into sassy grandma. And with that, let's continue to talk about the drawing process. I apologize for not talking about the last 2 characters as much. I don't know how to depict them as much. in words. It's really a thing that you need to see, or see how the playthrough is, or see like videos of to understand, I feel like. You could probably understand it a little bit more by going to my friends' websites, or not websites, but their social media platforms, or my social media platform, because I know I post about them sometimes. But yeah.